Welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour. Of course, this is round two, baby. Round two, powered by Solum Global with our host, the founder of Solum Global, Kirk St. John's, crypto's most interesting man. And of course, the Crypto Bros, myself, Lance Miliaccio, and George Ballantine. This is your ultimate deep dive into everything crypto, blockchain, and decentralized finance. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just stepping into the world of digital assets, we bring you expert insights, top interviews, exciting new projects, breaking news, and game-changing innovations shaping the future of digital assets. No hype on this show, no fluff, just real talk, real strategies, and the real opportunities in the world of crypto. Because on this show, in crypto, we trust. George Ballantine, I heard you take a deep breath there. What's going on, brother? We're running and gunning. There is a lot going on, huh?
There is, man. I just want to kick this show off. This is number 2. I think we should have been at number 20 already, but that's okay. We go smooth, slow, smooth, and do it right. And that's it, man.
Kirk St. John's, my brother from another mother. How are you, man?
I'm doing good this morning, Lance. It's great to be back in the studio, getting excited. This is going to be a great show, great week, a lot of cool things happening.
Man, we really are rocking and rolling. Solum Global's booming. The Crypto Power Hour's booming. I got to say this. I'm not surprised necessarily because I know we're bringing the right show. And of course, I think we've bridged in on some of the reputation of the Big Mig show on Rumble and our relationship with Rumble. But we had 90,000 people tune into the first show.
Sweet. That's really impressive, actually. That's 90,000 really smart people.
Yeah, exactly. They knew exactly what they were doing when they tuned in. Had some great comments. They're excited about the show. Of course, we should talk about a little bit of the show because some people might just be tuning in for the first time. So I want to just give a little groundwork. We're going to keep this Cliff Notes, though. You can always go back and watch the first episode. Yep. And of course, let me make it clear: Wednesdays, 3 p.m. and Fridays 3 p.m. That's where we're starting with the show. I'm sure we'll be adding additional episodes throughout the week down the road, but we want to build the foundation and really set the groundwork for what the show is going to be doing. And I think the top thing about this show that I'm so excited about is there is a incredible demand for education. People are confused about crypto, Kirk, and what I love about the concept you came up with is that this show is going to be about educating people. And so, of course, it isn't just the great interviews. It isn't just the current events that we're actually going to take them through and let them, understand what blockchain really is, what decentralized finance really is, what Web3 means versus Web1, and the important coins, whether we're talking about the coins that are going to be in the strategic reserve like Solana, Cardano, XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. We're going to be talking about the great events around the globe. Not in the not too distant future, we're going to be attending those events. So you're going to get live stream and you're going to have the opportunity to know about projects that are up and coming and the strategic relationships we're forming with these projects because we're going to showcase those projects. We're going to help incubate them. So you guys can get in on the ground floor because listen, everybody's heard the story. Everybody wishes they bought Bitcoin at tenths of a cent, right? You'd be worth $100 million now. We're going to try to find those projects for you. So you'll get an opportunity to get in on the ground floor. And we're going to be working with the CEOs and the founders and the big media companies like Bitcoin Magazine and others. So Kirk, maybe just give them a little bit of what your taste is going to be and what the plan was when you came up with this.
Yeah, sure. So I think you're touching on it, right? We love crypto. We love the people that are deep into crypto, and we love all our crypto nerds and stuff. But the part of the show where we're going to be trying to unpack information, it's not for your 10-year crypto guys that know everything about everything, right? I hope they enjoy, our banter and some of the current events and some of the other tidbits on the show. But being able, like you said, to just take those topics, those ideas, those literally word definitions, and just unpack those at a level that people can understand on the street, I think is a big part of what we want to do.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be doing this in a way that I think is also going to be beneficial. Just as you listen to the regular show, we'll try to throw in some of the definitions. When we start talking about AI meme coins or altcoins, right, a lot of you out there might say, what the hell is an altcoin? What do you mean an AI meme coin? I don't understand this. I don't understand these rug pull things that go on with celebrity coins. We're going to take you through, and hopefully through that process, this education is going to help you to not make bad decisions. Again, it's not financial advice we're giving you. We're never going to give you financial financial advice on the show. What we are going to give you is educational advice. We're going to say this is a project that we believe in, or this is how this works. This is what they mean when they talk about how the blockchain is going to make banking completely different than what it is. We're going to be taking it off the SWIFT system. That's the current banking system. So it's a great opportunity. And of course, Solum Global's right at the tip of the spear on this. These guys are innovative. They've got an AI healthcare solution that's going to be incredible. Kirk, in just a couple of short sentences, can you just explain to the audience what Solum's got in the pipe? Because you guys have been, slamming and jamming. I can't even believe the amount of things you've gotten accomplished in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, it's great. So, again, Solum means the foundation. So for us, the foundation of most of the projects that we're actually going to sponsor ourselves as Solum Global are going to be stablecoin based. So real quick, again, a stablecoin's a coin that's always worth $1. In our case, it could be a euro, whatever, but we picked USD. So it's always worth $1. And then we build off that use cases as to how people can use that, crypto dollar. And the first use case we came out with was our wallet. So, you can pay a restaurant bill, you could pay your electric bill, you could buy a Tesla, whatever. You're using the wallet to send crypto to pay. But most recently, we've rolled out phase 2 of the Solum platform, and that's an AI-driven healthcare product. We're calling it the electronic health wallet. And, most people, at least in the States, they've been to physicians. There's a lot of activity and data going on there at the doctor's offices, and he's using the computer. For simple terms, we're taking all that stuff, shoving it through a smart AI engine to make the process cleaner, less fraud, less leakage, less waste generally. And we're moving all that on chain so that you can access your medical records and the physician records and the insurance payment records in a simple, easy to use electronic health wallet backed up by the blockchain.
We definitely need to get you connected with RFK because we're hearing some horrible stories from behind the scenes out of DC about this Medicare, Medicaid fraud. We've heard it already about Social Security. I think any solution that solves that for the American people is at exactly what's needed by this administration. So hopefully we can get you tuned in with RFK. That's one of the things we're working on behind the scenes because this would absolutely fix so many issues within the healthcare industry and government and their involvement, but not including just Medicare and Medicaid. Every other company that's in the healthcare business could absolutely use this solution.
Absolutely.
So I think you guys, what's important and what I love about what you've done, and then I'll end it there, is that a lot of people say, does the blockchain need this project? Or does the project need the blockchain?
Right.
In the case of what you've done, I absolutely believe that you have filled a gap that is needed on the blockchain. So great job on your part, and I think a perfect way to segue. All right, look. So I'm super excited about something. I'm smiling behind the scenes. Maybe that's because George told me to lower my volume. Hopefully it's low enough.
No, lower it more. I don't know. I think you raise it on the slide, bro. I
George,
seriously
I
do.
didn't hear you breathing, so maybe
That's why I can command presence on this show. I just take it over. Now, the point is, I think I'm excited, so my voice goes up when I'm excited. Of course, I'm kind of a big guy. I'm 6'1", 230. So the thing is, maybe sometimes I'm a little louder than I am, but I can't help it. I'm excited about this. So we all know, we see the chatter. It's all over the place. The crypto summit, DC, the people that are going are excited. The people that didn't get invited are complaining. And what I'm excited about is that Solum Global and the Crypto Power Hour are attending the summit. And that is big, big news, man. I don't know how excited. Now, listen, I know you're running and gunning. We're only going to have Kirk. Let me warn the audience. Not that George and I are going to push forward. We'll keep going with the show, but we're only going to have Kirk for about 15 or 20 minutes right now because he's got to run to the airport. This was kind of last minute.
Wait, don't
Got
forget,
the invite.
Antonia's out there beautifying herself, so you know how women are.
Yeah,
so she gets a pass.
So our other co-host, Antonio Moss, of course, the ladies need a little more time to get ready. I lather my head with some soap. I don't need to condition. I don't need to do anything with it. It's pretty much lather the head. Might need a shave. You never know, but I can do it in about 10 minutes. But she needs a little more time, so that's why she's not with us today. She's getting ready for this flight. You guys have got a private airplane waiting at the airstrip for you, which is nice. That's convenient. But all right, Kirk, are you excited about going to this summit? Because, man, you're running with the whales and the great whites of the crypto world, it looks like.
Of course. I mean, it's super exciting, right? And what we hope is that, the Trump promise to make America, the crypto capital of the world comes through. I'm going to see people there, like, Brock Pierce is hosting an after party. I saw Brock maybe, I don't know, 9 months ago in Dubai briefly. We both happened to be getting into our respective Ubers outside a hotel. But the last time I saw him was, 9 or 10 years ago running around Bitcoin conferences in the early days, right? Vitalik, Joe Lubin, the guys from Ethereum, we all went to Zug together before it was even Zug for that matter, right? So to see some of these guys that over the last 10 years have literally become the titans is going to be exciting. Sayer's going to be there. We hope we see Brad from XRP, but it's going to be a super fun. It's black tie, right? So I had to get all cleaned up and get ready, but we're really looking forward to being there.
Yeah. Wait, you had to get cleaned up? When?
Well, this is, what are you talking about? Shit. You know what? I want to say something about girls, and we're a very, balanced show here. We're not sexist at all. Mainly the issue is hair, right? It takes a long time for girls to get their hairs right, and everybody that's ever had a love in their life knows at the last minute they're always 15. This is not easy to keep pretty. Okay, it takes effort. And so I have to jump in the ocean. I got to do all kinds of stuff. So I just want you to know, I think I'm doing good by getting here on time.
There's no doubt it takes a little more grooming. I'm streamlined and I'm aerodynamic, as you can tell. It doesn't take much to maintain this giant head of mine. So, a little bit of soap and a razor and I'm ready to go.
I love it.
But I do remember the era of when I had a lot of hair. I did have long hair at one point, and it was back when I was doing jujitsu. And I was in Mexico and finally just decided to shave everything off. And that was the end of it. I never grew it back because they kept pulling my hair. The Brazilian guys would grab it and the referees wouldn't see
like
it.
that.
Yeah, it was like that. So, okay. So look, I got to give this list. So I got a fresh list of attendees.
Oh, here we
For
go.
the audience, I mean, we're talking about company value, trillions.
Oh.
And I think we're talking about individual net worth. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of high net worth individuals. And these really are the mover and shakers in the industry. But let me just go down the list quickly for the audience because maybe they don't know about it. This was a private list I got from the insiders. These are confirmed. And my understanding is there's more, but they're trying to update the list as fast as they can. The private jets are zooming into Washington, D.C. right now. They're stacked up, of course. These guys are all flying on the new Gulfstreams and everything else, so they're having to get cleared for, parking and everything else. So it's getting a little complicated, what I heard. So here we got Michael Saylor. Of course, everybody knows who he is. He is the Bitcoin maximist of multi-maximists out there. He is the top of the food chain. David Bailey, CEO of Bitcoin Magazine. Matt Huang, co-founder of Paradigm. J.R. Richardson, CEO of Exodus. Kyle Samani, the managing partner at Multicoin Capital. Zach Witkoff, co-founder of Trump-linked World Liberty. And World Liberty, they've got their own strategic reserve going on. They're doubling down. That's Trump's organization. His whole family is involved in that. Barron, Trump Jr., and of course, Eric. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink. Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase. Anybody that doesn't know who that is. Vlad Tenov, of course, CEO of Robinhood, another monster. Arjun Sethi, CEO of Kraken, another monster. Chris Marzelek, CEO of Crypto.com. Brad Garlinghouse is now confirmed. He wasn't confirmed earlier. CEO of Ripple, XRP. You know that those guys are going to be one of the big ones. They're part of the strategic reserve. So Kathy Wood, CEO of ARK, appears to be coming. Now, these are the ones that are now working on their flights and their private jet parking and all the rest of it. Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum. Jeremy Allar, CEO of Circle.
That's Vitalik.
It's Vitalik. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I got that wrong. I'm reading so fast here because there's so many of them.
Yeah, breathe, Lance.
Yeah, Paolo Ardoino. I don't know him, but he's CEO of Tether. Of course, a monster. Charles Hoskinson, founder of Cardano. Anatoly Yakovenko, founder of Solana. Of course, we know Anatoly. Mark Anderson, of course, co-founder of A16Z, AVAX, and he's one of the early Ripple investors. White House officials that are confirmed. Bo Hines, who's the executive director of Presidential Council on Digital Assets. David Sachs. I don't know if he needs an introduction, but I'll give it anyway. He is the crypto and AI czar. Mark Ueda, acting chair of SEC. Caroline Pham, acting chair of the CFTC, which, that's going to be a big part of this. We know right now that they're going to be making some policy decisions at this event.
Right.
So we're going to try to keep you tuned Hopefully, we'll be giving you some of that live streamed if George can figure out whether there's a stream even available. We don't know if it's all going to be closed door or open. White House officials who are saying they're going: Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. So
that one's pretty cool.
Wow.
You know, it's funny, when we were at Mar-a-Lago, we ran into General Flynn and, you know, his crew. And, you know, we touched on how some of this like human trafficking stuff is, in a lot of ways, it's get paid. It's the payment backbones are the, you know, the old black wallets and using crypto. So I'd love to talk with Pam about that today, because if I can get fired up about anything, it's knocking people out that are trafficking kids. So that's going to be very cool to chat with her.
Yeah.
But you left off the name Antonio Moss and Kirk St. John, so we'll get that on the list.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
but with that being said, guys, I'm getting flagged. I got to jump in the car and get to the airport. So maybe we'll check in on the other side and wrap the show up with you from Washington if it's convenient.
Yeah, safe travels, first of all.
Exactly.
And
All right.
Okay, and remember, we're looking about connections and interviews. We're going to put the weight on you and Antonio.
I'm gonna
Don't
get
make
him.
me give you an F minus for this event. Do not make me grade
I'm
you.
going to run around to everyone
Hold
there
on.
and say, hi, can I get a selfie?
listen,
Oh, hold on.
just do this, because George here couldn't go to Mar-a-Lago. He couldn't go to this event because of knee surgery, so he missed out on two big events. So you are fulfilling big shoes right now, because George makes the
Yes.
connections. Do your thing, Kirk. You got the personality. That's
Thanks,
it.
bud.
And you got
All
God
right.
on your side, man. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's rock.
All right,
bless.
gentlemen.
All
Ciao.
right. All right, George, looks like we're going to have to carry the ball downfield. We're going to have to go for the touchdowns. It's just you and I doing what we do. Of course, you know this show. If you like the show, thumbs up, comment, share, like. Take the short form, the long form. It's also going to be translated on Rumble into 25 languages, closed caption. You're going to find the audio files on all sorts of podcasts. I think we're on 20 or 25 now. We'll be on 50 plus. This is going to be a big deal. George, why did you wince when I said 25 languages closed caption?
No, I didn't win.
Oh, I thought you made a noise there. You made like a little, I thought it was like a little cat noise you
I
made.
might
What
have.
was that? I don't
know.
Whenever I suggest anything that's got work, George sometimes he'll take a deep breath, but you know me, we're going all in. This is the Crypto Power Hour, powered by Solum Global. So if you're just tuning in, those guys are heading to the airport. They're heading to the Crypto Summit. We're excited. But there is lots of news that we've got to dig into. So, George, what do you got here, man?
Well,
Solana founder is slamming Trump's strategic reserve. What is that all about?
I know, right? He's not happy about it. I kind of understand where he's coming from in the essence, but he pretty much he doesn't want the government involved and can have control of it. But just because they're doing a strategic reserve does not mean that they will have control of it, because as long as you keep it on the blockchain, they won't have control of it. Let me put up his tweet that he said. Let me just get it for everybody so they can see it, and we'll read it. He goes, my reserve order of preference, he goes, no reserve, because if you want decentralization to fail, you'd put the government in charge of it. Well, we're not putting the government in charge of it, buddy. Or states run their own reserve as a hedge against the Fed making a mistake. Or if there has to be a reserve, it's based on objectively measurable requirements. He goes, I don't care what they are. They can even be constructed such that only Bitcoin satisfies them right now. They just must be objectively measurable and rationally justified. If there is a target to beat, the Solana ecosystem will get it done. I don't know, Lance. I think, is he trying to say that to where he's trying to just pitch Solana? It seems like it, because that last statement saying Solana will get it
I
done.
think Solana, let me start with this. First of all, I disagree with him. I think to have the U.S. government involved, they're not involved. They're doing it just like they do the gold at Fort Knox. What it's allowing is the American people to have some participation. Because let's face it, not everybody has money to get involved in the crypto world. Many people are going hand to mouth, and their inflation is killing them, and they're barely covering their bills every month. Here's a situation where the government's going to take taxpayer funds, tariff funds, and they're going to invest it in crypto. The benefit is the American people. So I don't agree with Anatoly here. And although I understand his concern, I don't blame him, but it's going to be up to the industry leaders like him, like the owners of the biggest companies out there: Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, Solana, Ripple. they're going to have to maintain control and the security of these assets, because let's face it, quantum computing is here to stay, and it's just going to get more and more sophisticated. I'm not sure a 12-word seed phrase is going to be enough to protect everybody. That Bybit issue with the Korean hackers, they still haven't recovered those funds. There's a whole bunch of them already they've determined they aren't going to be able to get back. There are people that are sleuthing away trying to locate all those funds. So I think Anatoly's got to look at this as an opportunity. And I get what he's saying. Look, there could be a lot of potential fraud. Any announcement by the U.S. government has driven the crypto markets in one direction or the other. Tariffs drove them down. Trump's announcements drove them up. Trump's election drove them up. But that's still going to happen. And I think the more governments that own these assets, the less likely that we're going to see, legislation put in place that would impact the crypto community in a negative way. I mean, George, you and I talked about that weasel, Gary Gensler from the SEC. He's no longer an issue, but he kept trying to apply stock law to crypto. And you know what a cluster F that was.
Yep. I mean, listen, he's gone out with the old in with the new. I mean, we're into a new revolution right now, Lance. Mm-hmm. And crypto is the way of the future. It is. I mean, our American dollars is shot. Nobody believes in the Federal Reserve anyway. Man, they won't even let us go audit the gold. It's our gold.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
they don't want us plugging around there.
Yeah,
those guys are spraying the bricks right now with the gold paint, trying to stack them up in the back where maybe everybody can't test them.
You tell me if the president goes there to look at it, they're going to tell him he can't?
You know, that's the problem though with the Federal Reserve. It's a private institution. It's not it's sanctioned by statute, right? And authorized by code, but it's not a government-owned institution. And I think what Trump mentioned is that he wanted to nationalize the Federal Reserve, which would mean that we would be in charge of it and in control of it. I don't think those families that own the Federal Reserve Bank, you've heard Rand Paul for years, and the Fed, and he's right. That fiat currency has always been a problem. I believe that's why they executed JFK. It was all over the Federal Reserve and the fact that he wanted to put us back on the gold and silver standard. So listen, and I told you before, for the audience, I'm going to remind them, the gold in Fort Knox right now is valued at $62 an ounce. I'm not even exactly sure why, because gold is at $2,800 or $900 an ounce.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Say that again?
The gold in Fort Knox is valued on the books at $62 an ounce.
Are you sure? Where did you see that?
Positive. Oh, I've done all the research on it. I thought
How is that even possible when gold is like $2,800 an ounce right now?
I'm not even sure the logic behind it. I'm not sure, George. I couldn't figure out the reasoning. There was no reasoning. But Trump was talking about. I want to tell you what the
reasoning is. They're skimming. They're taking gold. So you know what they're doing. Gold bars are going. Gold bars are going out in the slide, man. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you what. I'm going to overpay you guys for the gold. George and I are willing to pay $65 an ounce. We're going to overpay you.
Right.
You okay with that? Yeah, $65 an ounce. We'll take some at the $65 an ounce, maybe even $100 an ounce. We'll go the gold. You know what? I'm going to go throw it on the limb. George and I'll buy as much as you sell us for $100 an ounce. How's that? My point is, you might very well be right. Trump is talking about nationalizing the Federal Reserve and revaluing all the gold, and that some of that money would be put into the strategic reserve, assuming all the gold's there. I hope it is. I hope we don't find out that it's not. We'll see what happens there. Of course, they're pushing back on all this, just like the Democrats. Have you ever seen so much crying about every decision made by an administration? These Democrats are unbelievable. But
they're crying because they didn't think about it first.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to dig into too much into politics. What I want to talk about is let's continue on with this. So, look, if you look at there's a bunch of prominent crypto industry figures that went on to decline any involvement or prior knowledge of Solana getting the nod for the United States Treasury Reserve. Now, the Bitcoin maxis, right? They're all out there. It should only be Bitcoin. It should only be Bitcoin. Listen, George and I own Bitcoin. I'm going to say this straight up. It isn't because I'm negative on Bitcoin. It's just because I don't think that anything that's one coin, it's not one coin is it. It's diversification. And I believe the projects that were picked, Solana, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. I'm not a huge fan of Ethereum. We don't own that one, but we do own all the other coins that are mentioned there. I think there's a reason they were chosen. So regardless of whether Solana wants them to participate, I say tough shit. I say if the government wants to buy Solana and they want to hold on to it, that's just how it's going to roll, and that's just it. Right now, I guess Solana was number 6 as far as being ranking, right? And we've seen some big swings in Solana. We know the all-time high, I think, was in the 200s now. I think it's sitting around 178. But the point is, this is coming. The reserve is going to be here. Strategically, they're going to be adding other coins to that strategic reserve. So, I think decisions have already been made. I'm sure that this summit is going to allow some input by these people, but I don't think it's going to stop the government's participation. And I personally don't want it to stop the government's participation because I want the company to support the U.S.'s initiative to be the top crypto capital of the world. So, you tell me, George.
Listen, it's almost like crying. Everybody wants to be in the forefront of it, but listen, spread it, even it out, like give everybody partial share somewhat, like the coins that are transparent, that have backing and have done the right thing. And that's it. I mean, it's not that difficult. I'm surprised even Bitcoin's in there, to be honest with you, but that's okay.
Well, it's not an antiquated part, it's not a Web 1, part of the blockchain. I don't know how they're going to update it. I'm sure there may be some solutions, but I've always been concerned about how quickly, now we're in Web 3 and how quickly the whole banking system's changing. And my question is, can that old code be integrated in an efficient manner? I'm always worried that Bitcoin, not right now, maybe it's a year from now, maybe it's 2 from now, are they going to be the MySpace of the crypto world? I know a lot of people say that will never happen. Are they going to be walking around acting like Tom, trying to find some friends and nobody's there? I can't say whether that'll be true or not. Yeah, you remember how Tom jumped on it. Only the people that had MySpace accounts might have gotten that last joke. I hope George got it. Tom was always your first friend when you were on MySpace. So here's the deal. Let's talk about this. I heard a rumor. I heard some things. And George, I heard some things.
What thing? The first thing or the second thing?
I heard the first thing. I heard that there may be an announcement about the SEC and the Ripple settlement. And that's why you're seeing so many government officials getting involved in this event from the White House. Not only David Sachs, which you would expect, and not only the head of the CFTC, but it's very possible we're going to hear an announcement about Ripple and the SEC's case against them. Now, of course, this is a big deal. Everybody's wondering what the next move is going to be by the SEC. And of course, Ripple's future and Ripple's value is held in the balance. They've been waffling around, $2 and, $1.99 to $3 and back down to $2.30 and $2.48 and back and forth. And they can't talk about all the agreements and contracts they have with countries and otherwise. So we know the White House is set to host this high-profile crypto summit. The SEC is holding a closed meeting. A lot of speculation is talking about a potential shift in all the regulatory stance on crypto assets, especially concerning XRP. And of course, the inclusion of XRP in the U.S. Crypto Strategic Reserve is fueling those investors' optimism. But there's still this uncertainty of the SEC. George, what do you think? You think they're gonna make a big announcement at this event and kind of make that the news point that crypto's out of the fire?
I think they should have done it before this event. This way, this event can focus on what needs to be done. I mean, in reality, I don't know what's taken the SEC so long. Since Trump got in, they should have figured this stuff out and moved on. But you think like at this event is a time and place to make that announcement? No, it should have been done beforehand. This way, everybody could prepare better.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this. I think you're right in some ways. There's some parts of what you're saying I agree with, but I have a little bit of mixed feeling because it would be amazing at the crypto summit if of course, we find out that the regulation they're putting in place is very minimal, number one. And number two, that they're going to retract all this garbage that the SEC filed against so many crypto cases. And I think it was all about taking money and grabbing fines and dipping their hand into the crypto world so they could have extra slush fund over there at the SEC. So much of the stuff made zero sense because, crypto isn't a stock. So they were applying old stock laws over and over again, and it just didn't make any sense to me. And of course, that's where XRP got into the hot water. But, XRP's role in this strategic reserve is a big deal. And the government's decision to include XRP in the reserve is, of course, bolstering the confidence that they're going to do this at the crypto summit. They're going to let the world know that XRP is out of the fire. Don't go anywhere. We'll finish talking about that when we come back to the Crypto Power Hour, powered by Solem Globe, with the two big guns, George Ballantine, Lance Migliaccio, the Crypto Bros. We're going to be right back. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. More crypto news, more crypto information, and more crypto education right here on the Crypto Power Hour.
As an American who keeps up with the real news, you know by now the severity of the economic issues that are plaguing our great nation. My name is Jonathan Rose, and I'm the CEO of Genesis Gold Group, the only major faith-driven company in the industry. 2024 is a year full of uncertainties, with trillions of dollars in national debt, inflation impacting your savings, and a pivotal election year. Your peace of mind is more valuable than ever. Now is the time to use physical gold and silver to preserve your hard-earned retirement savings with a gold IRA. Call Genesis Gold Group today. Our team has decades of experience helping folks just like you take their first step on the path to true financial freedom with a gold and silver IRA.
Call Genesis Gold Group today at 1-800-200-GOLD for a no-commitment, informative consultation with one of our experts to find out if we can be a fit for you. Call now at 1-800-200-4653 or visit genesisgoldgroup.com.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. The smart choice for savvy investors and preppers alike. With Silver Prepper Bars, you're ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation. As gold and silver prices continue to surge and top economists predict upcoming shortages, now is the time to secure your precious metals in the form of Prepper Bars. Go to PrepperBar.com now and place your order before supply runs out and prices go up. All payment methods accepted. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at PrepperBar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Welcome back to Crypto Power Hour, powered by Solum Global with your host, Lance Migliaccio, George Ballantine, the Crypto Bros. Our other 2 hosts, Kurt St. Johns and Antonio Moss, well, they're on a flight right now, private jet too, on their way to DC for the Crypto Summit, the first Crypto Summit. And Solum Global and the Crypto Power Hour will be there. So,
Big
Lance,
news, man.
I know.
I'm actually super excited about that. I wish you and I were going, but of course we've got to hold down the fort here. We would be trying to shoot from our phones, running to the airport if we were streaming this show. At the end of the day, I'm excited that they're going. And of course, the presence of the Crypto Power Hour there, we hope to get some great content. We'll get you some pictures with some of the top, influencers and the top, big, what I call the whales of the crypto industry. This is big news, man.
Listen, I'll be honest with you.
Bro.
I don't want no videos. I don't want no pictures. I want a deal. I want contracts. That's what I want.
Exactly. We want relationships. We need some of those strategic partnerships. We're going to try to also, there's some big announcements. We're going to talk about that. We've got some stuff working behind the scenes. But remember this, if you like the show, if you like what George Ballantine, Lance Migliaccio, and Kirk St. Johns and Antonio Moss are doing, we are looking for strategic partnerships for the show. That means, tying into the companies that we actually believe in. You're not going to see any shitcoin relationships on here. I can tell you that. What we are looking for is also some sponsors for the show, top companies, cold storage wallets and platforms, any of the exchanges. We want to tie in with you guys so that you guys become part of this education process. So we'd love to see big companies get involved because we want this show to be the number one spot for education and for interviews and, of course, news. So, George, take it from there, brother.
So we got listen, this is big because SEC's closed meeting and the Ripple case. But a lot of things going on. So let's see what happens. You know, the SEC, they're set to hold their closed door meeting. And I'm dying to know what happens. We'll find out hopefully soon enough. But SEC should just back out of it. Drop the case, move forward. It's not a stock. They're not in a stock exchange. This is crypto, totally two different things. But you know what? They've been delaying these proceedings in major crypto lawsuits lands like Binance, due to what? No leadership? Or they had leadership changes? So you tell me, when you have lack of leadership or changes, that you still can't make decisions? Or were they told not to do it and wait for the new people to come in? That's what I'm banking on. Because Trump's people...
I think you're right. I think it's number two. I think you just nailed it. Because look, think about the timing. Crypto Summit is tomorrow. This March 6th meeting that's happening right now, a lot of people are saying this is going to be, it's going to prove a major shift. And I'm going to give a little leak here. I'm hearing they're going to withdraw the appeal in the lawsuit against Ripple. You just heard it here on the Big Mig. Save this. If I'm wrong, you can come back in and say, Lance, you blew it. You were wrong. I'm telling you that I've heard from sources. I heard some things. I'm telling you right now.
You heard the first thing. I got the second thing. So when you're ready, go ahead.
Yeah, I heard that they're going to withdraw the appeal in the lawsuit against Ripple. That's what I heard.
So here's the thing that not a lot of people are talking about. What we will, because this is crypto power hour. So XRP, they're primed for at least $3, maybe $5. But did you know that active XRP addresses skyrocketed 620%, Lance? They went from 74,000 and change to like 462,000 and change. That's crazy. That's a lot. They're about to break out the hefty resistance against none other than Ethereum in a bid, what? For the second spot by market cap. So this is big.
And let's not forget, man, most companies struggle when it comes to press releases. Now, we just put out a press release for the Crypto Power Hour. Big press release. And George, I don't know if you'll be able to grab it. I actually forgot.
Probably
it's
not.
out there. Maybe we can grab a snapshot of it and share it with the audience. I want to show you. So it's a big press release about the Big Mig Media Company, about the Crypto Power Hour, about Solum Global Media, the plan for a channel and the smart TV expansion and the potential for a nationally syndicated radio show. And then, of course, they're even talking about the Solum Global Media. I'm gonna put this out there. Geez, I guess I can. I'm going to put it out. They might even acquire a radio station down in Florida that has a 5 or 6 day presence, and that would give them access to terrestrial radio. So if you want to be part of that, you definitely want to get a hold of GB at solum.global or LM at solum.global or Kirk at solum.global. We're looking for a few strategic partners to jump in on this media hub. It's going to be a big deal. We're going to be doing spaces on X. We're going to be doing lots of stuff. And we're going to be working on incubation projects where we find top projects in the AI field of the crypto world and other projects. And we're going to work with them. We're going to give them access to, everything that we're doing. And of course, hopefully expose them to the markets, which gives you an opportunity, the viewer and listener, to maybe get in something like a Bitcoin at the very beginning. I can't guarantee you that because this isn't financial advice. We're not going to do that on here. We're just going to give you opportunity and education, and then you can make your own decision. So I think when you look at this, Brad Garlinghouse is confirmed to be at the summit. He's confirmed to be at the reception. He's confirmed to be at the after events. This is big. I think he knows what's going on. I think he may be aware that they're going to withdraw the appeal. Maybe there's been some discussions behind the scenes. Maybe there's been some negotiations. Maybe he's going to pay some of the fines and move on. But George, how about the 3,000 agreements under NDA, more than 3,000, with different governments, with many companies that Ripple's never been able to talk about? Most people struggle for one news item. What happens when Ripple has the opportunity to talk about 3,000 agreements that they could never talk about before that they've got already in the bag?
I can have one word for this. Christmas is coming early. That's all it is.
That's it. That's
There's
what I'm
so many.
saying.
Look, Japan's implementing XRP into all their financial systems, which started this year, as they stated. It's just going to flourish. I mean, once this stupid SEC lawsuit or whatever you want to call it drops, that's it. It's
Yeah.
open season, man.
Yeah. And
It
let me
is.
say this. XRP's price movements, just so the audience understands, they're going to hinge on three key factors. Okay, so these are the factors that matter. We've got the regulatory decisions. Well, that's what the crypto summit's all about. You've got government crypto policies. Well, that's what the summit's all about. And you got the potential approvals of XRP spot ETFs, which, of course, the SEC case has kind of been, weighing that down and not allowing it to happen. So these are the three big things. And of course, the final thing is the SEC case itself. So if that gets settled for a very small set of fines, or literally the appeal gets dropped, that case is moot. It's over with. It's a done deal. So they've got that small fine. They move down the road. And now here start coming the announcements. Now think about this. If XRP announced 3 of those pieces of news every single day for an entire year, they still would have only announced less than 1,000 or just a little over 1,000 of the pieces of news they have to release. Come on, what company is sitting on that kind of a news pile? None. So this is a big deal. It's going to affect everything. I think it's going to make Bitcoin surge and Ethereum surge and Cardano surge and Solana surge and probably the whole system, because when the SEC finally lets go of all this and they stop delaying these proceedings and they start moving forward and they start dismissing this lawsuit against Coinbase and they close the investigations into Robinhood, OpenSea, Uniswap, and Kraken, which, by the way, we know that Kraken's going to be at the event. We know that Robinhood is going to be at the event. And I heard that OpenSea and Uniswap are going to be at the reception. Why are all these people there if it isn't for some major announcement? So right now, XRP, I think, George, where's XRP right now? Do you know? $2.30, 40 cents, maybe 50 cents?
No, it's like 260.
Well, the rumors are probably circulating. People are watching the Crypto Power Hour right now here on Rumble. They probably, you guys heard some things. You heard it here on the Crypto Power Hour. You heard a few things. I'm telling you right now, you better check it out. You might want to take a few ducats, not financial advice. Talk to your financial advisor, but you might want to talk to him about maybe snatching up a little XRP, or you could go over to Animus Technologies. You could buy it over there on their platform. You can move your IRA money. You can also do that. You can tell them that the Crypto Power Hour with the Big Mig team sent you. And of course, those guys over at BlockTrustIRA.com, our friends Jonathan Rose and them, that's a great way to do it. Go take a look at BlockTrustIRA.com. It might be an opportunity. My buddy over there, Jonathan Rose, doing some great things with Jacob Diaz. So, George,
Yes.
is the CEO of Ripple going to be there at Brad Garlinghouse? Is he going to be there at the Crypto Summit?
Of course he is. He ain't
Hell
gonna miss him.
yeah.
That's you shouldn't even ask that question, Lance. Of course he's going to be there. It's all about him. I mean, we'll see what happens. But listen, he's going to be there. I don't know about Pam Bondi being there. I prefer her to actually focus more on other things. Maybe going by the FBI building in New York and Washington D.C. and drawing out those bad agents. But whatever, she's got to come.
But can you blame her? I mean, you get to go to an event where you're hanging out with the titans of crypto. I mean, we're talking about that's more billionaires in one location than I have to say damn near any other event in the United States. There are more billionaires and there are trillions of dollars in company value. Is Pam Bondi, is she married or single? I don't even know. Is she married or single?
Look at a rock on her hand. It's huge.
Okay, so she's probably balling already. I was going to say if she was single, maybe she was over there doing a little shopping on those crypto billionaires. I couldn't blame her. Look, there's a lot of cool guys there, and Kirk St. John, Solom Global, Antonio Moss, the crypto queen. She's going to be running and gunning. I heard she's dress shopping in DC when they land. She's gonna put it on. She's easy on the eyes. I bet those crypto billionaires are going to be running around. It's going to be like chum in the water, shark in the water.
See, if
I feel like it's going to be like Jaws.
See, if I was there, I would say, Tonya, if any of these billionaires want to talk to you, they got to sign a contract with me, with Crypto Power and Solom Global first.
That's it. If you want to date Antonia, you got to sign a contract first.
You got to go through me.
That's horrible. We sound like we're trafficking. We can't do that. We didn't mean that. We're joking, Antonia. We're joking, Kirk. At the end of the day, the expectation
Kirk's
of the
probably
team.
saying, no, Kirk's probably saying, "Damn, that's a good idea."
Yeah. Exactly. The point is, but here's the deal. We are expecting you. Do not make the big MIG bros, the crypto bros, give you an F minus. Don't come back without interviews. Don't come back with strategic partnerships. Don't come back without agreements or meetings. I'm expecting you guys to go all in.
I'll be honest with you. Listen, I mean, I can care less. I just about interviews, anything. I want agreements because I know if I'm there, I work the crowd. I know how to work the crowd. And
You
make
are a
connections.
good crowd worker. I got to get my hats off to you, man.
You know?
You are the beast at those events.
So-
you always come out of there with the running and gunning teams.
And it's like, it's killing me that I couldn't be at Mar-a-Lago or even going to this thing. And like,
Yeah. I was bummed you weren't there. It was hard.
I know.
It's hard for me. You know, I'm not as good at it. You're much more equipped with the equipment. You're much skilled in the audience.
It's not even about
I'm
the
great
equipment.
once you set it up. No, but you're great about everything. Let me tell you, when you go to events, you just got it going on every single time. So my hat's off to you.
Thank
I'm
you.
still working on the interviews. You just did a great job in the past.
I just go, I work the crowd and I'll get somebody, I'll talk to them for a little bit and I'll introduce them to Lance and I'll leave them with Lance while I go working.
Well, yeah,
and
but
that's it.
then I'll close. I'll put the final nail in the coffin. So you're great at greasing the skids. You definitely have a high skill on that. But look, let's talk about Bitcoin's performance and broader market influences. Of course, we saw Bitcoin rebound. Past 90,000, dipped below 88. That movement was influenced by U.S. economic reports. And I also want to point out that I was right because I didn't completely understand the competition. If you remember, we discussed on behind the scenes on the Crypto Power Hour team, was Bitcoin, what was it going to drop to? And what did I say? I said high 70s. It was going to drop to high 70s for a short-term dip and then it would come back up. I believe we're going to see another dip unless the news coming out of the summit is so crazy.
You said high
And
70s?
we may not see the dip.
What did I say?
I think you said 83 or 4 or something. You didn't say what I said.
I thought
I was
I
the
thought
only
I
one that
said,
said 70
I
something.
thought I
Nobody
said-
else said that.
I thought I said 90 because then Antonio said 91 and then Kirk said below that.
But we said, what would it drop to? And then Kirk said, oh, no, but it has to go for a whole week and a half.
Yeah,
for
to
the
Friday.
next show.
That's what we
He
said.
tried to change it. Well, I didn't
No,
understand
that's what we
that.
said on the show. Because you know
Yeah.
why? Because
Okay,
you talk a lot. You
I'm
don't
gonna
listen.
agree to disagree. I'm agreeing to disagree.
Listen, we got the video. We can
I just want to be right. No,
let's roll to
here's
the
deal.
videotape.
I just want to be right. I'm right. That's it. Okay, end of story. I need a mute button on this side. When do I get my own mute button, George?
He who controls the production controls everything.
Controls a
Don't
mute
forget
button
that.
for sure. All right, so Bitcoin got a rebound. We saw the ISM
Hold on.
services,
Listen.
the Purchasing Managers
Let me
Index
add
rose
something,
by
Lance.
52.8 to 53.5, signaling economic growth. George, yes. What do you got?
I got permission from
Yes, sir.
Sterling Griffin and
Yes.
Sebastian that
Oh.
if these two don't come with any kind of deal or any something good, then it's this.
Yeah. That's that. You went to the big guns. Those are the two other founders of Solum Global. I mean, George went to the tippy top, so that is not a threat. That's a promise. You guys got to get it done. The pressure's on, but okay, I'm counting on them. Now we might get a short clip from them. They're going to be from DC. We're hoping to get some stream once they land. Maybe we'll have that edited into a later version of the show. I don't know. I'm hoping to do all that. We'll see what happens. If we get it soon enough, we'll,
My money's on. Listen, this is my prediction.
yeah.
You know how women are, guys. They gotta find the right dress and everything. And Kirk, he's gonna be tired. I already know. I know Kirk. I've stayed with him for over a month. Tony is gonna be like, she, and rightfully so. She wants to make sure everything's good and perfect. And she's gonna go take her time. Why rush? Rush for 15 minutes? No, we got this. I prefer her to do it.
Yeah.
Her to go out there. Whatever makes her feel good, beautiful, comfortable. That's it. And Kirk too.
Hey, look, she's a Cambridge girl. She's a UK girl. Of course, she wants everything to be perfect, So, he's going to be dealing with, I feel pretty, oh, so pretty. I
And
feel
witty
witty and
and
pretty
gay.
and gay. Oh, Anyway, the point is, she's going to be dress shopping. She's going to be decked out. I fear for those crypto billionaires because she's going to be working that room. I know she's going to come back with interviews, so I'm not worried about it. But look, let's talk about these mixed signals from the investor side. A lot of expectations were that they thought the Federal Reserve rate cut in June was not going to be unchanged. They were hoping for a dip. Of course, it went unchanged. Of course, the market odds of a cut from the betting side say that we're slipping from 81.1% to 78.4%. Of course, those lower interest rates could drive demand for crypto as a hedge against inflation. But I don't think we're applying what would normally be market influences to a stock exchange type of product. This is crypto. This is 24/7, 365 around the clock. I don't think this is what's going to drive the market. I think the news out of the summit is what's going to drive the market. And I think as Trump continues to work on inflation, I think inflation is going to have a big deal. And I also think that if he does really pass either a flat tax or no income tax, people are going to have a lot of extra disposable income. I think they're going to take some of that disposable income, George, and they're going to invest it in crypto. What do you think?
Well, according to some people, I'm not going to say names, when they're talking about giving us everybody that paid taxes a $5,000 dividend check because of all the money that Doge is saving, going to this person was saying, they don't need it. They don't need that money. Well, guess what?
Oh my God!
I
know who that was. I can't stand it.
We're not going to say names. If I got that $5,000 dividend check, I'm just going right into crypto.
We're not going to say Jasmine Crockett said that.
I didn't say nothing.
So Jasmine Crockett, I don't like her, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to name names. Jasmine Crockett says you guys don't need $5,000. $5,000 doesn't matter. That's what she said. Although that's the same person, along with the rest of the Democrats, that made such a huge deal about Biden's little measly check during the pandemic. Or wait, I'm sorry, during the pandemic. Go ahead, George.
So you brought up a word, inflation, right? Well, inflation is rising.
Yeah.
And it's stated, it came out yesterday, U.S. consumers believe inflation will rise to 6% over the next 12 months.
Ow.
Yep.
That's you just brought some really ugly. That's ugly, George.
I mean, listen, it's the truth, right? The truth hurts. But what are you going to do? It's not. Right. It's going to take time to fix this economy and everything with it. But one of the biggest, most powerful things is happening today, the crypto summit in DC, baby.
And these are what I'm going to tell you. This is what you and the audience need to watch for. These are what I believe these are going to be the market catalysts. SEC's appeal decision, right, on XRP. You're going to be hearing about U.S. tariff policies and inflation. That's some of what they're considering because these are all on their list. U.S. economic reports, they're wondering about some of those key labor data they're going to be coming out. And of course, Fed's rates. Crypto strategic reserve asset developments, how that's going to work, how those inflows are going to work, where the money's coming from, what they're going to be investing in. I think there are going to be additional announcements, maybe on some additional coins. That's not confirmed, but I did hear maybe. ETF flows are going to talk about what these institutional investments in Bitcoin, XRP, and other companies. So a lot of those institutional investment groups are there for the summit. You're going to be talking about what these ETFs are going to determine for long-term market trends. So I think between the crypto summit and the SEC, you have to think about it. Let me say this, just so you guys understand, an XRP spot ETF, that's an exchange-traded fund. That's what ETF means. And that directly holds XRP. That allows investors to gain exposure to XRP without purchasing XRP directly. So that's like a managed fund that can make good decisions for you. So the point is, those ETFs, those exchange-traded funds are really important. And we're going to see now, we know the tariffs that were heard about. Now we've got Canada and Mexico are saying that they're compromising on a lot of stuff that Trump wanted. So there's a chance those tariffs are going to get rolled back very quickly. I heard something about the cartels in Mexico and potentially that the president may align itself with the U.S. military and the U.S. administration to solve that problem. So that might stop at least the Mexican tariffs. We'll see what happens. All right, look, I know what that music means. I hate it. I wish we could keep going. Second, round two, baby. Round two. Crypto Power Hour in the can, powered by Solom Global, powered by George Valentine and all his efforts on the studio, and of course myself, Lance Miliaccio. Don't forget, George will be doing short form content, long form content. Tell your friends and family about this. This is the place to learn about crypto for the right interviews, the right team, the top show on Rumble for crypto. 90,000 people tuned in yesterday. Hopefully we'll do even more numbers today, but listen, you can't always expect that. We're going to hope that we keep banging away. We're going to be here for you guys Wednesday, 3 p.m., Friday, 3 p.m. That's the starting point. I'm sure we'll be adding more episodes, but that's where we begin. Solom Global Media Company, the Big Mig Media Company partnered up, and there's a great press release out there. You can go type it in and go find it. It'll tell you more about it. Don't forget to check out solum.global. And I want you to follow George Ballantine on X, which is G Ballantine, Lance Migliaccio, The Big Mig Show, Solum Global, and of course the Crypto Power Hour next. We need followers. We need to grow those accounts. And if you could subscribe to the Crypto Power Hour, I want you to go over there right now, hit that subscribe button. If you could do a paid subscription, great. But if you can't do a paid subscription, I don't care. We just want you to follow the show because we want to help you. It tied into generational wealth on this show. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure you get to participate. This isn't just about the big guys in crypto. This is about you. This is about the possibility of you changing your entire life with these investments.
Have a blessed
George.
weekend. We'll catch you all next week.